Good evening and welcome to round 12, the final race of season 5 of the Invictus F1 Performance League. We are at the Sepang International Circuit for the Malaysian Grand Prix, and I'm pleased to announce that I'm joined by a special guest, F3 League Admin and Formula Performance driver Tom Tejuar Wright. Good evening, Tom, and are you looking for your return to the commentary box this evening?
Good evening, Craig, and firstly, yes I am. I'm looking forward to this race, the last race at Malaysia for Invictus, and what a fitting way to send it off than to have a championship finale between two racers who've had strong seasons this year.
Yeah, I felt that as an admin team it was the appropriate send-off to give the Sepang International Circuit. And just talking about the circuit itself, Tom, are you a fan of the circuit, or is it one that you almost like to see the back of?
I'm actually quite happy to see the back of it, to be honest. It's never been a track I've never been able to really get into, if you will. I've never been able to get into the groove. Normally, with majority of the tracks, you can get into them and you feel your way. But with Malaysia, it's always in that final sector, the double right hand there before you come down to the hairpin straight. That I've always struggled at that one. So yeah, I'm happy to see the back of it. But you got Paul Ricard coming instead, which I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, I think you're speaking about the infamous turn 13 and 14, and it's certainly a tricky corner for myself also, because you're turning and braking, trying to hit that apex, and it's quite a challenge to get the car turned in, particularly when the front end locks up. But despite it being wet in qualifying, we have got reports from the race control that we will have a dry race, so all cars will start on fresh rubber. Do you think that makes it more exciting that all drivers are starting on fresh rubber, or do you prefer going on dry quali then into the race and seeing how the strategies play out, Tom?
Well, it's quite a funny one. I mean, if I was in this predicament now, naturally I'd go for like a setup that kind of suited both, if you will, kind of middle of the road. I'd keep one set of wets on, I'd fill it up and I'll go out for the whole 12 minutes, because obviously over the time the temperature of the tyres gets better and you're not going to be starting on the wet tyres anyway. And I'm just looking at Waventail's the first man out, championship contender, so he's gone out first very bullishly, as you can see.
Yeah, and I think most drivers are following your advice, Tom. Most drivers are out on track, apart from Fascone, who does come out on track at the moment in the Force India. So all 12 cars out on track on the wet tyre, looking to find the grip wherever it is on the circuit. The Boogster just out with title contention. As it makes a slide going up the hill at turn 10. Just missed out on championship contender hopes after that 2-week absence on holiday. So a straight two-way fight between Waventail and Notorious. But despite being out the Drivers' Championship, he's still in with a chance of securing the Constructors' Championship. A three-way battle tonight, Tom.
Yeah, and for himself as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll be wanting to see the season off well. As the Waventail just goes over the line on his first fast lap, Craig, so I'll let you run with that one if you want to.
Yeah, I've actually just jumped on board with Saab in the Red Bull, just making his start down the pit straight, trying to find the grip. Unable to find the grip earlier in the outlap as he'd actually exited the pit lane. So this is a complete unknown. Going into turn 1, just understeers off the apex slightly at turn 1, running down that hill, careful to miss any standing water into turn 2. And the Red Bull looking very strong so far in sector 1, Tom.
Yeah, we finally get away with that, as long as he keeps the foot down, because the corners you got a little bit more give. Now it's in the wet, you can go a bit wider as long as you try and keep the pace with it. You don't want to get too close to the apex, as you just nearly did there. Kissed the inside apex and nearly sent the car the wrong way around there.
Yeah, and Meg Lugpay had a little bit of a tough season in the Performance League as well. Strong in the middle part of the season in F2, so he'll be wanting to finish this season very strongly. But the Boogster currently just coming up to that double right-hander, a firm favourite of myself at the end of Sector 2, as he comes up towards that tight left-hander. He's going to have to be careful in the McLaren. He had a little bit of a half spin up that hill, and he's actually snapped out the rear end again, but manages to keep it in a straight line.
Yeah, I'm just a quick word on Big Luke P. I mean, he's only been racing here now for just over a season. He joined at the back end of last season, and he's been a good, solid acquisition. He's a very handy racer and very good around the community as well. He's a tough racer, very tough racer. Waving Tail goes fastest at the moment with a 1:49 in his McLaren.
Yeah, and that's
So he's
beaten by Tom.
next.
Yeah, so Tom takes provisional pole from Waving Tail. Saab just coming through the final corner, turn 15, up towards the start finish line. Can he put the Red Bull on the front row? He doesn't. So the second row at the moment for Saab in the Red Bull drops to fourth, with Nick LJ Thompson taking second, then third. Sheo moves up to second with his lap. So it could be that the driver's beginning to find the grip on track as Nitrogas crosses the line in the Ferrari for sixth at the moment.
Yeah, he'll be quite happy with that. 1.2 off the pace. He's obviously in the Ferrari, so come dry conditions, which is obviously going to be more suitable for his racing, he'll be a lot stronger. So I expect to see Nitro make some moves up the grid. Also, Greg, on that, with it being wet qualifying and a dry race, you're going to have a mix of tyres. With it starting, you can start in first, second, you can go on the harder compounds. So it'll be interesting to see how the choices come for the grid as we get to the race. We've got 6 minutes to go already. These sessions go far too quick.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we go back up to the 18-minute sessions of qualifying for F1 2018, but we will have to wait till next Friday to actually find that out, as Sheo actually sliding through the double right-hander in Sector 2 at turn 7 and 8, that was, sorry. So Tom maintains provisional pole at the moment by 0.4 of a second in the Renault. So very impressive display from Tom 444, who's trying his hand at the Eco Performance Leagues in F2 as well.
I tell you what, Greg, I'm surprised he stays out. He's only got 1.8 of fuel left, so he's got one more quick lap. Well, he might not need it. He's just gone 7 tenths quicker over Tough Sheo. So just look at the fuel limits now. You've got Tough Sheo. See if he stays out. He's got 1.9 left. It looks like he's going to stay out. He might be going quicker. But I have to look at Saab. Saab's still got 7 laps of fuel left, so he's going to be out for the long haul. He'll at least get another 2, possibly 3 laps out of that.
Yeah, it certainly looks that most drivers are trying to get a few laps under their belt before the conditions worsen. As the Boogster goes even quicker in the McLaren, a 1:48.4, so 1/10 ahead of Renault driver Tom 444.
I'm quite surprised that Notorious, down in 11th in the Ferrari, he's going to be pitting now, so he might just have enough time just for the one lap. It'll be very tight there, as the Boogster just left Tough Sheo through.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting about the Drivers' Championship, Nick Thompson currently in 4th in the Toro Rosso, while Waving Tail 5th in qualifying in the McLaren. So could we see both Nick Thompson and Waving Tail have a race-long fight for position? And it is vital for Nick Thompson to actually outscore Waving Tail by approximately 8 points. So he really needs 8 points over Waving Tail this season to take that Drivers' Championship.
It's going to be an interesting dynamic. I mean, if with Waving Tail being the man in the ascendancy, to line up alongside the grid, alongside Nick, he's obviously got a lot less to lose. Nick is obviously be a little bit more cautious because he'll want to get through the first corner unscathed and attack the race from there. But as we can see there, the man in 6th place at the moment, Saab, going quicker once again, and he's still got enough fuel left. So like I said earlier, stick a set of wets on and go flying. He's down to 1:49.8 at the moment. I imagine he's going to go quicker here, possibly a 49.2.
Yeah, Mike trying the no assist tonight in the Performance League in the Mercedes, really going. He's going really tentatively through 7 and 8 there.
Another one is MJ Coop not coming back out. Notorious is not coming back out, so they must be happy with what they've got.
Yeah, it's quite surprising to see him remaining in the garage with 3 minutes remaining. He could possibly be waiting for a bit of a gap on track as Fascone in the Force India yet to set a lap time. Just coming round turn 11, a little bit unsighted at the end of the apex. A little bit of a challenge with the off-camber corner as well, where you begin to lose the rear end of the car at the crest of the hill as well, Tom. Oh, and Fascone, big slide, round 14, manages to keep it on track, but loses a massive chunk of time. I believe it could actually be on his outlap, setting a lap time of 5 minutes 30 seconds, so possibly an instant earlier on for Fascone in the Force India.
Absolutely, Craig. I'm going to have to just jump into you there now, mate, because I think we're going to be possibly a pivotal moment in the championship here, as Nick, with one lap of fuel left in his car, comes up to the second sector. He's currently 5 tenths off Waventel. Will he jump his championship rival? He needs to jump these because you've got Sab and Nitro both within a tenth. Meg Lumpy's also there, further tenth back. So can Nick hook this which is potentially his final lap up now? He's on full fuel, he's on max fuel. When he comes down the straight, I think he might have a little advantage of a bit of a tow there as the car out in front of him.
Yeah, he'll certainly be picking up that slipstream, but hopefully won't be affected too much by dirty air as he comes round turn 15. But interesting, Sheu sitting in the garage on the intermediate tyres. Will we actually see him? He does actually, so Sheu is actually coming out on track on inters, looking to try something a little bit differently, while the Boogster and Tom looking to continue this fight for P1.
Nick jumped in, Craig. He's only just managed to jump in. As you can see, the times are ridiculously tight.
Yeah, he's 600ths of a second ahead of Wave and Tail on the McLaren. Just coming round that double right-hander at turns 7 and 8 in the McLaren. And the McLaren should actually fly through there with that chassis being almighty for these high downforce tracks.
Absolutely, Craig. And it also depends how he's doing on this lap. Because if you look at his fuel that he has left, he's only got 2.8 left. And he's probably going to squeeze another lap in. I'll tell you if he's doing good or not, because at this point he'd have probably gone down to standard or lean mix to save it for one last final blast. He was a little bit wide there, so this is going to be interesting now as he comes up to the final sector. It's a shame you can't get the sector times, isn't it, really? You're just guessing, really, apart from that.
Yeah, although we get a little comparison from the previous lap time or best lap time, we don't actually get to see the overall sector times in comparison. So it could be that Wave Intel was maybe looking to burn off a little bit of fuel for that one final hot lap attempt with 20 seconds remaining in the session. So just coming round turn 15, looking to go flat out. Yeah, looking to go an almighty boost off turn 15 on that run down towards turn 1.
Just shy of it.
Yeah, so Wave Intel should have one final opportunity to improve on 6th position at the moment, Tom, but Sheu on the inters just crosses the line in 4th. So after Fascone puts on provisional pole, Sheu drops to 4th, the second row of the grid in the dirty side of the track.
Interesting, Craig. He went in the inters, but didn't even get a lap on him, so a little bit of a mistake there from the Williams driver. Obviously, Williams living up to their performance this year with another clown spec pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely wrong strategy call from Williams, and they'll definitely be regretting that if the conditions were going to come into play for the intermediate tyres.
Absolutely, Craig. Too much feasting on Clay Williams' flapjacks rather than looking for real strategy.
Yeah, so a driver in top form in F2 just missed out in the Drivers' Championship. Meg Lugby in the Haas puts it on provisional pole for the moment, but Fascone still on an outlap. He's actually down on his sector 1 time, sector 2 time. Unlikely to improve from P2, but Tom still on a hot lap. And the Renault just coming up towards the back straight, running down towards turn 15, needs to beat 1:48.3 previous lap time of 1:48.5. Can he gain that final 2 tenths to put him back onto the front row, that top position?
Will, Craig. I think he will. He looked quick around that corner.
Oh, And it does!
And he does, he gets pole!
So Tom takes pole from McLugpy right at the end of the session by 1/10 of a second. But Wave and Tail still on track, coming round. Turn 15 in the McLaren on the run down towards the start-finish line. Currently in 7th with championship rival. Oh! And it beats championship rival Nick Thompson by 2 positions, moving up to 5th.
Absolutely, and he's got tough Shayo in the middle of him there. He's got a Shayo sandwich.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw earlier in the season at Silverstone an almighty battle between Shayo and McLugpy. So we know that Shayo has actually got the pace. And Nick Thompson might find it quite tough to get past Shayo and have a go at championship rival Wave Intel.
Yeah, especially with the Renault engine. But well done to Tom. He's only recently joined the Invictus Racing League and a debut podium. And obviously Cyril Abiteboul will be absolutely delighted with that. Well done to Tom.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure he'll take that into confidence into tomorrow's race. But more important, tonight's race. But the qualifying positions are: Tom takes pole, followed by Meg Lugpy in second, third, fast going for Force India. The Bigster takes 4th for McLaren, Wave Intel 5th, Shayo 6th, Nick Thompson 7th, Saab 8th, Nitrogas 9th, Mike 10th, Notorious 11th, with MJ Coupe completing the grid in 12th.
I think, Craig, on the back of that qualifying, there's any drivers you might feel out of position. One that jumps out to me is Mike, down in 8th in the Mercedes. Well, he'll be on the hunt.
And we can certainly see him coming into play in a dry race, particularly with that Mercedes power, the Mercedes car being almighty all season. So certainly a driver out of position. But I think strategy choice is going to be absolutely key as all drivers get a free choice at tyre compounds to start this race.
I think if I'm at the front now and I'm in a Mercedes or a Ferrari powered car, I'm thinking go on the prime tyres, not the harder one, like the yellow ones as opposed to the red. You've got the power, your tyres will last longer and you'll be able to keep in front. It's the guys who are in the Renaults and the Hondas who are going to be running the softer tyres just to give them that little bit of advantage just so they can get closer through the corners. So it's set up for an interesting race. I hope it's going to be interesting. I'd like to see Nick and Wave get in the mix, but it'll also be good to see other drivers get involved because that's what you want to see. You don't want to see people being a little bit more lenient towards the championship contenders. You want firm and fair, and let's hope it's a great championship finale like it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the unpredictability of the Performance League that brings us here every week, and it's unclear who's going to win tonight's race. So we're just going to quickly jump on board with the tyre strategy, and it looks as if most drivers have opted for the super soft tyres as we are underway. It's a great line. It's a great start from Tom 444, looking to come under pressure from McLugpy, who tucks in behind in the Haas, looking to go round the outside at turn 1, but the McLaren of the Bigster moves up to P3, tries to go round the outside, and then outside of Force and then inside of the Haas, but looks as if all drivers have got through turn 1 fairly safely, but both McLarens going wheel to wheel.
Interestingly though, Nick Thompson's gone for the medium tyre and he's in 6th at the moment, so he's going to be playing the long game. As Tom goes up the inside of McLugpy to get the position back, he squeezes him outside. Bugster's in the hunt, he's looking behind for anyone to go off. No, McLugpy's got the moves sorted as he slips it in front of Tom.
Yeah, and so what's vital...
has lost his position.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Tom, but what is vital, Wave Intel has actually got 2 cars between himself and Nick Thompson, who's dropped down to 7th, but Meg Lugpy leads the grid on lap 1, Tom dropping to 2nd place as we come through turns 9 and 10, going up the hill towards turn 11.
And Sabra on the outside of MJ Coupe, he says, that's my position. Good on Sab, keeps himself in the hunt, gets in the points there. Let's have a look down the main straight. Interesting to see how Nick can do in the straight. He's on the harder tyres and he's got the Ferrari of Nitrogas behind him and the Ferrari of Notorious Lip, and you'd have to say he's probably a sitting duck, at least until the DRS, because he's behind Shayo in the Mercedes powered car. Let's see what happens here as we come down to the main straight. As Fasconi has a look at Wave Intel, and Wave Intel, he won't be wanting to fight. He'll be thinking, I'm going for the championship, he'll be playing the long game. You want that position, you have that position. As we go now, as Fasconi sends it up the inside, he's got the faster donkey in the back of that car, and Fasconi slots his lovely pink car into 4th place.
Yeah, it looked as if he was going a little bit deep, but he's definitely went deep in turn 2, opens up the door to Wave Intel behind, but he can recover it with the Mercedes engine and that Force India car, but Shea all over the back of Wave Intel, desperate to get it. Oh, it's a Malk's favourite. Yeah, so
the little one said.
Yeah, Shea tried to go up the inside but just gets squeezed out of space, but looking to go wheel to wheel with Wave Intel as we go through turns 5 and 6. Oh, Shea continues all over the gearbox of Wave Intel, coming through that double right-hander at 7 and 8. Well, we see a late braking contest into turn 9. Wave Intel goes defensive on the inside. Shea could go for the cutback, but Wave Intel has him covered off.
I tell you what, Wave Intel must be biting a knife at the moment, dicing and slicing, going for the championship, as Tough Shayo has lost it and he's gone off. So we now have 5th and 6th. The 2 championship contenders, and I'm surprised Wave on the softer tyre. Nick is still within a second of him, so a long game might be working for Nick at present.
Yeah, and I think the car's coming up behind Shea, just getting a little bit out. Just getting a little bit out of his shape there, but all drivers managed to get out of the way. The Big Star looks to put pressure on Tom. 444 for second place out of turn 15. Oh, the McLaren down on power compared to the Renault, but fast going with Force India, trying to go up the outside. Oh, the Big Star has inside line for turn 1. Oh, tries to cut across the Renault at turn 2. Both drivers not giving each other room. So both drivers looking to fight fairly aggressively, but fairly. But just going back to what you were saying earlier on about Nick Thompson, that he's doing very well on that medium tyre, holding on to the back of Wave Intel, which is absolutely vital for the Drivers' Championship.
Well, that's it now, Greg. And if you look now, he's managed to shake off the attention of Nitro Gas. He's now got the quicker Ferrari and Notorious closing in on him. And just a quick word on Brewster. That move at the inside of Tom, if you open the door to him, he'll be through there like a bailiff. He came right through that door. He said, "I'm taking your possessions. This is my position." And he's gone through in a second place behind Meg Lugby.
I think it's a competition between you and Malk for the metaphors and the analogies this season. Fast going, looking to put a little bit of pressure on Tom as we ran down towards turn 9, slightly outbroke himself, and he was lucky that he didn't make any contact. Disaster for Nick on that medium tyre, probably not able to get tyre temperature in the medium tyres. Looks as if we're getting a little bit overcast, and we certainly saw that last night in the No Assist League, where drivers struggled to get temperature in the medium tyre compound.
Stay on board with them, Craig, because I think Tough Shy always closing in.
Yeah, just right on board with fast going, stuck behind Tom and the Boogster. As Shea tries to put pressure on Nick Thompson after that earlier mistake. So both drivers coming through turn 2, coming round that right-hander at turn 3, that long sweeping right-hander. Shea struggling to actually catch the back of the Toro Rosso despite the Mercedes power unit in the back of the Williams.
Yeah, no, it's also evident if you look further down the grid, there's Mike still stuck behind Sab, even though he's got the Mercedes donkey in the back there. Nitro Gas just coming back out of the pits. Ferrari are obviously going to try and use him to hold everyone else up, a la Raikkonen. Let's see how that works for them.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers
doing quite well.
Yeah, I think a lot.
Solid.
I think a lot of drivers could possibly struggling with the dirty air. Really finding it hard to follow the car ahead, and that's maybe why you were seeing a few mistakes from the drivers. But with it being the last race of the season, everything is on the line, so pressure possibly getting to the grid as well.
No, absolutely. I mean, I've just noticed there, Craig, as we're looking now, you've got a little train, the Boogie train, which is loading up the passengers. You've got Bugster, Tom, Fastco and Wave Intel, not too far off as Notorious. He'll be there soon. He'll be there very soon. He's in the Ferrari, Wave and the McLaren, so you have to say Notorious in the back of this. How far is this train going to go into the race, and how is the tyre wear going to get affected by the drivers behind? I've said this before, it'll get to a certain point in the race where you're the guy behind and you think, I'm going to take the race to you. And you'll pit, you'll go for the undercut and you'll get the position. So it's how long now this is going to happen. I'd be looking, personally, I think you'd be going super soft to soft, but if you're looking to try and make the jump, you could possibly go to the medium compound. But let's see how this battle develops. As you have to fancy Fast Cone with the Force India. He might be able to, if he gets close enough, cut his way through. So let's see how this fight develops.
We've seen a change of position on the main straight on the run down towards turn 1. Shea getting the job done, and Nick Thompson under DRS as Tom 444 still struggling behind the McLaren of the Bigster coming out of turn 8.
Yeah, absolutely. He might be struggling behind him, but like I say, I'm surprised Fast Corn is not really closing the gap. I wonder if it's the potential of the dirty air. He's probably wearing his tyres away as well because he's behind 2 cars. And obviously, I think Waventail could possibly get a bit closer as well, but he's probably minding his distance. You know, I'm thinking, I'm quite happy where I am. I'm not going to push it. I'm going to play the long game. I'm in for the championship, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the fight develops, especially from 2nd to 5th, because Meg Lugby looks to be out and away, but the gap's just gone down there from 4.1 to 3.8. So it'd be interesting to see how the race develops.
Yeah, I think you're right, absolutely. There, Tom, Waventail does not need to risk anything at this stage in the race. He's sitting comfortable in 5th. He's got a 1.6 second gap over Notorious behind, and he's just 1.6 off the pace of Fast Going. So he's actually getting pulled along that track by the slipstream of the Force India ahead, and he knows Nick Thompson on the medium tyres down in 8th position. So Waventail possibly just playing the long game at this point in the race. He knows he doesn't need to win it, he just needs to outscore Nick Thompson.
Absolutely, as long as he's in 5th, he's got no cars around him, he's going to be going, he's just going to be ticking the laps off as they go. As long as he's got nobody around him, that could be a potential banana skin. Quick mention to Saab in the Red Bull on the soft tyre. He's keeping Mike honest. The gap 1.1, even though Mike's in the faster car and the quicker tyres, so well done to Alan.
Notorious in the Ferrari, beginning to rein in Waventail, so we could be seeing a bit of pressure for 5th place as both Waventail and Notorious make their way up towards turn 10 on lap 6 of 28.
I think we might see a move into the first corner there, Craig, between Notorious and Wave, and I don't think Wave will put up much of a fight. I think he'll be a case of on you go. As long as he knows Nick's behind him, he'll be quite happy. See if I can look at the what fuel we've got actually. Is Notorious is -2 laps, so he's obviously been flying. No, Wave's putting up a fight. He's +4, rich mix, so he's thinking if you want this position, you're going to have to fight me for it. As we go, the DRS is open, Notorious behind Wave, the Ferrari against the Honda, GP2, Notorious getting close enough, he goes up the inside, and with Wave goes wide, lets him through and says, on you go, Paul, you before me.
Yeah, I think you called that one perfectly, Tom. He knows that Notorious is on the soft tyre and is going longer in the race, and Waventail won't want to be scrubbing those supers too much, knowing that with Nick Thompson may risk the one-stop strategy. So Waventail, possible fuel and tyre management at this point in the race, looking to just conserve those super softs.
No, absolutely. And just while I'm touching on that, Craig, if you watch the camera angle from Wave backwards, you can see Nick Thompson show up in the background, so I think the race must be coming back to Nick. He might be getting a bit of heat in the mediums, the softs might be wearing off, and they might be in their optimum window now, because he is catching Tough Shayo. He is still in the same straight as Wave and Notorious, so the race might not be over yet for Nick. He's going to go as long as he can in his mediums, probably make a switch to the super softs. Depending how the race goes, he might even go to the softs earlier than the supers, so yeah, he's not out of this. He'll fight till the end. You know what kind of a racer he is, and he definitely won't give up any time soon.
No, certainly not, but tucking in behind the Ferrari of Notorious as well certainly suits Waventail, being down on power certainly in the straight, so he can just utilise the DRS off that Ferrari and really just get pulled along, similar to what he was doing with the Force India of Fast Going.
Absolutely. As Tom is getting closer to the Bugster, is he going to throw it up the inside? He's thinking about it. Oh, I think he's a day short and a dollar late, whatever it was. A dollar short and a day
Yeah,
late.
yeah, just a little bit too far back to make an effective move on the Bigster. So just possibly waiting to see what racing line the Bigster takes into turn one, or we could actually see the undercut as we begin to approach the pit window.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think what Tom will be trying to do, I think if I was in his position now, I'd be thinking I can't get the Honda for straight line speed, especially the Renault gets close, but just not close enough to get a convincing move done at the inside. And we know what Boogster's like, he'll fight you tooth and nail for that position. I'd definitely be considering the undercut, especially when you see that he's managed to drop Fasconi, so he's in the driving seat anyway. Excuse the pun, but he can dictate what happens now. He knows Boogster's ahead of him. Boogster can't react to him, but Tom can react to the Boogster, so the power's in his hands at the moment, if you will.
Yeah, I wonder if we may see a little feint into the pit lane, hoping that the Bigster takes the bait. But the gap's still currently at 0.4 of a second as we exit turn 14 onto the back straight down the second DRS straight. Bigster goes defensive onto the racing line. Tom follows, just tucks in behind the McLaren in that run down towards turn 15. Will we see the McLaren or the Renault team opt for the pit window, but both drivers staying out as this is going on? McLuckie opens up the gap to 4.2 seconds.
If you're going to get a certain move here, Craig, as Notorious opens up the inside of Fasconi, and he's through. He's got the move done before the corner, nicely done by the Notorious MMA as he goes up the inside.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is an indication that the super softs are actually beginning to hit the cliff, and the soft tyre is coming into play as Nick Thompson continues to close down Sheu for that 7th place as well. So the gap currently down to 0.4 of a second as we approach turn 4.
Absolutely, Craig. And if you look at the weather now, it's getting a little bit brighter, so obviously the track will be heating up and the softer tyres will be getting worn and they'll be getting a lot more crap all over them, and you have to say the sticky mediums and the sticky softs will be loving these conditions at the moment, and I'd expect to see Tom pit this lap. He's dropped back 8 tenths behind now. I think that if he pits now, he could go into the mediums. I'm not too sure of the soft window, but I think the mediums. I think that'd be the best thing for him to do, because Notorious has got through Fasconi now. Notorious is on the harder tyre. He's in his optimum window. He's in a Ferrari and he'll be coming for you.
Yeah, and a few mistakes from Nick Thompson on the double right-hander, the fast 7 and 8. Saw Nick Thompson go a little bit deep out of shape, a little bit, and he lost 7 tenths to Sheu. So Nick Thompson possibly trying to push that medium tyre compound, and it's not responding at this point.
No, absolutely not, Craig. As you see, Notorious is just on the brink of breaking into the DRS behind Tom. So Tom will have to start paying attention to his rear there.
Saab currently under risk of dropping out with the points as MJ Coupe on the fresh soft tyre looks to close down Saab in towards turn 1. Saab goes defensive, holds on to the inside line at the apex. MJ Coupe just sitting in behind the Red Bull. It's a 3-second penalty is awarded to Tom for various warnings. So that is a disaster for Tom at the moment, who's battling for P2 with the Bigster. Oh, runs deep!
He runs off again. I think a little bit of an experience there coming back to cost Tom, I imagine. He's obviously noticing Bigster staying out. He wants to keep in the hunt, keep in the fight, and he might have gone 1 lap too long for my liking. As I said last lap, it would have been ideal to come in. He's under pressure from Notorious now. You'd have to say Notorious will come straight through. I have to imagine if it's not the straight over the next one, as Tom goes wide once again. He's really struggling for grip now.
Yeah, I think he's starting to lose the front end of the car, losing the front grip is Notorious. Almost runs deep in turn 14, but tucks in behind the Renault. We have DRS on that run down towards turn 15, but fast going just behind 1.5 seconds as well. So we actually might see Tom concede that his tyres are gone and opt for a pit stop, but doesn't. He stays out, correct? But the Boogster pits, so Tom 444 misses the opportunity for the undercut over the McLaren of the Boogster.
Yeah, absolutely, Craig. He had an opportunity where he could have took the rest of Boogster coming in a lap earlier than him, but he's obviously missed that window now, and unfortunately for Tom, his race might be a little bit more of a struggle behind the Bugster later on, but I'll tell you now, Craig, running in lean mix like he has for the last few laps, Notorious 5 seconds off Meg Lugby. He's on the harder tyre, and it'll be interesting coming the crossover point when Notorious will go on to the super soft tyres. Can he get close to Meg Lugby in the second part of the race? That might be a battle to keep our eyes on, as he's broken the 1 second already to Tom 444. He's flying away now. Like I say, even though he's in lean mix, he's trying to get back he's trying to get the fuel back from his earlier burst of pace. We've seen him fly up to second.
As we're talking about the battle at the front, Tom, Nick Thompson putting himself back within touching distance of Shea and Williams. Just misses the braking point slightly. I don't think it
comes. Precision, Craig.
Others might call it panic. But you're absolutely right with Fascone and Tom as well. Fascone beginning to close in towards the DRS activation, and gets it from turn 14 and 15, just falling off the gap between himself and the Renault ahead as Fascone made a little mistake. Yeah, Fascone made a little mistake in the exit of turn 14 and compromised how quickly he could get on that power.
I don't know what happened there, Craig, but I think Nick and Shea have both gone off because Mike's got ahead of both of them. I don't know what's happened there. We missed that.
Yeah, we did miss that, but I think your valuation could be right, actually.
Panic stations, Craig. Panic stations.
Yeah, absolutely is.
Cars in the pits.
Yep, so one driver's causing the domino effect is Notorious. Takes first position with Mike following in second. Nick Thompson on the medium tyres from the start moves up to third. Saab, who was actually down in 11th, moves up to fourth. The Bookster back on track on the medium tyres in fifth. Tom on the mediums behind in sixth. Fascone also on the mediums. McLugby opted for the soft. Wave and Tail also on the mediums in the McLaren. Shea on the soft. Nitro and soft, and MJ Coupe and mediums as well at the back of the grid. So it's going to be interesting to see how these strategies play out as the race progresses, Tom.
And I tell you what, Craig, Fascone's jumped to Meg Lugby. They've both pitted, and it'll be interesting now to see Meg Lugby, who was P1, he's on the softer tyre. See how he can come through the traffic, because Notorious in clean air, he's going to be flying for these next 3 laps until his pit stop. And I tell you what now, another one, Craig, if you were Nick in his position, you're on the medium tyres, you're just in your championship rival pit. You know he's down in 9th and you're in 3rd, you'll shove that fuel right into rich mix and you'll be flying for the next few laps until it comes to your pit stop. You need to make hay while the sun shines, and while your championship rival is in traffic, not being able to make as much progress as he was in the early stages in the race, this is where you must take advantage of that clean track and make it count when it comes to your pit stop. As Notorious is pitted ridiculously early. You see people in the super soft pitting just the lap before. I wonder if he just took too much out of him. They do look heavily worn.
Yeah, I wonder if he maybe picked up front wing damage at the start of the race and that required the pit stop. A certainly unscheduled pit stop as McLugby looking to put pressure on Fascone on the run down towards turn 1. He's on the inside. Oh, there's traffic ahead in the Ferrari of Notorious. Oh, Notorious doing exceptionally well to avoid contact with McLugby as he was exiting the pit. Tried to be opportunistic and make the move on Fascone, but tyres not up to race temperature for the Ferrari yet.
No, absolutely, Craig. But another side note to make from here is that Meg Lugby is only 6 tenths ahead of Fascone. He's only 3 tenths ahead of Notorious. He's on a softer tyre, so it'll be a case of can he eke out the last 15 laps? Because his 5-second advantage has gone right out the window. Notorious' in-lap must have been an absolute flyer.
Oh, bit of a mistake there from Notorious. Catches a curb, throws him over to the right-hand side of the track. Yeah, he's really struggling to get the temperature up in those medium tyres. So possibly Ferrari not putting enough tyre temperature out the tyre blankets for him as he exited the pit lane.
Well, he can see the race leader. He can see net P1 in front of him, and he'll be thinking, "I'm coming for you." That's why he's making a couple of little mistakes.
Nick Thompson, who started on the medium tyre, currently fighting Wave Intel, who's down in 9th, as you'd elaborated to earlier on, Tom. 3.5 seconds behind Mike, and he's actually closing him down. So Nick Thompson, if he can pull off this one-stop strategy, he's definitely going to put himself into contention for possibly taking this championship from Wave Intel.
Absolutely, Craig, and we've just seen the great Fernando Alonso retire today for the end of the season, and Wave could find himself in a predicament much like Alonso in 2010, where he's stuck in traffic, he can do nothing about it, and Nick might come through with a one-stop strategy and take the basket of fruit off him. Let's see what happens as this race develops. We're only halfway through the race. We've had so much action tonight, and it's been a fantastic season finale, and what a great advertisement for a league it's been.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk with a second performance league could only add to the excitement and unpredictability that we also already have on a Tuesday evening.
Absolutely, Craig. I think you've been reading too much of those gossip columns on the BBC F1 website there.
I have to sell it somehow. So at the moment we have a battle between Meg Lugpay and Tom, with Notorious 1 second behind them, but Fascone just behind Notorious with Wave Intel 1.7 seconds behind 6th and 7, and that is not where he wants to be as Nick Thompson continues to close down race leader Mike.
We've missed that, Craig. We've missed Notorious coming through Fascone. He's gone through, he's managed to get a 1 second over him. He's going to be catching Tom. Tom is actually ridiculously close to Meg Lugpay. He's got the DRS. I'll tell you what I'm surprised with here, Craig. Even though Meg Lugpay's got the softer tyre, he's on rich mix, he's not getting the performance he was in the first part of the race, as the DRS is open for Tom once again. Is he close enough? We don't know. Let's have a look. Notorious is closing in. You've got the top 6 all in the first corner as we speak. 50 laps into the race. This is going to be a fantastic race. As Nick Thompson, lap 15, 7 seconds ahead of the Bookster. The Bookster. There's another one. In all this excitement, we managed to miss that. He came in early, strapped his mediums on, and he's got 2.7 seconds over Meg Lugpay.
Yeah, and he's actually opened up the gap between himself and Tom 444, who he was having a battle with at the first part of the race. So Notorious runs deep again on the exit of turn 6, and he's really struggling with the dirty air coming off Tom's Renault, slightly ahead at turns 7 and 8. But with Mike going into the pits, that moves Nick Thompson up to the race lead, with the Bookster and Fresh Mediums beginning to close down the gap. It's currently sitting at 6.6 seconds, but more importantly, 6 positions separate Nick Thompson and Wave Intel.
Absolutely, Craig, and I just want to touch on the Bookster's race so far. It's been fantastic race management. He's been fighting in traffic. He's had people behind him who could have took the opportunity to pit earlier. He's watched what they've done and thought, right, you're not taking the race to me, I'm going to take the race to you. And he was 4 seconds behind Meg Lugpay when he pitted, and now he's 2 seconds ahead. He might be getting pulled in a little bit now, but it's one thing catching somebody, it's another thing passing them. As he goes through, the gap has gone from 1.7 to 2.9, and you can see, if you look back from the Bookster, as he goes into P1, and Nick Thompson just pitted, Craig, if you want to follow that one. Yeah,
and they actually caught a 5-second stop-go penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. But we've got a battle between Notorious and Tom 444 at turn 1 for third place. Tom 444 defending defending very majestically. So mighty defending from 244, but the inside line is open at turn 4, and Notorious.
He's going to go for the cutback.
I think Notorious has got him covered off. Certainly the Ferrari power unit for Notorious is actually giving him the advantage to get the best exit and traction from turn 4. But great driving between Tom and Notorious as they battle out from turn 2 to 4.
Oh, absolutely, Craig, and you can see now Notorious has had to go through Fascone, he's had to go through Tom since the pit stop, and he's still only 2 seconds behind Meg Lugpay on the faster tyre, sorry. So it's going to be opening up this race for him. He's got 12 laps to close that gap down. One has to wonder if Meg Lugpay's chosen the wrong tyre there, because his softs will probably start to go off around lap 25, 24. So that'll be another one to keep an eye on. But at the moment, and after, if I was a betting man, which I am, I'd be sticking, I won't be going each way on Notorious, I'd be going off for the win, because he's looking in a very handsome position at the moment.
Yeah, if Meg Lugby cannot make the position on the Bigster, he's just going to compromise his own strategy as the Sheo tries to go round the outside of the McLaren of Wave Intel at turn 15. Tries to cut back, he's got the better exit of turn 15, gets DRS, moves up to 6th place, dropping Wave Intel to 7th. So Nick Thompson, after that pit stop, opted for the super softs down in 10th. While Wave Intel drops to 7th after Sheo gets the move done on the main straight. But just going back to the battle that you were talking about earlier on, Tom, between the Bigster and Meg Lugby, although Meg Lugby putting a little bit of pressure on the Bigster, it's certain that Meg Lugby won't get these tyres to last another 11 laps getting to the end of the race. So can the Bigster manage his tyres getting to the end of this race and just sitting comfortably ahead of Notorious in the Ferrari and taking this race win?
I think he can. I think the Bugster's experienced enough. The only issue I'd probably have with him is possibly the Honda engine. There's no doubt that he can manage his tyres and get to the end of the race. He'll be hoping that Meg Lugby can make a fist of it and keep Notorious behind him. That's what he'll be hoping. He'll be thinking, you keep him at bay, let me stick it in the rich and let me run. Let me get some breathing space. So it's looking quite tight. But then again, Meg Lugby, he'll be looking at the Bugster thinking, I've got a Ferrari engine in the back of this car myself. I fancy a slice of the cake. So let's see how it develops.
Yeah, we could have a three-way battle for first place between the Bigster, McLugby and Notorious beginning to come into play as well. Only 9/10 behind McLugby. Meg Lugby makes him move on the racing line on that run down towards turn 1. The Bigster tucking in behind, trying to get a toe into turn 1, but McLugby on soft tyres in the Haas moves up to the race lead with Notorious getting within touching distance of the Bigster in the McLaren.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Just have to see how this race develops now, especially all these the next few laps. They're getting into the serious part of the race. I'd be interested to know just how much wear Meg does have on his tyres.
Yeah, it's a high tyre degradation track, and I think it's going to come down to actually witnessing the lap times that Meg Lugby can put in clean air. But he will have to be mindful that any mistake he could lose 2 positions with the Bigster, and Notorious continue to battle down in 2nd and 3rd.
Well, if I was Meg now, I'd be thinking, I know Notorious is a racer. I know Bugster likes to fight for places as much as he loves to defend them, and you'd be hoping that they might, give each other a little love tap or a snog. That's definitely going to be a good battle to watch, especially down at turn 1, the slower Honda engine. It might be moving, the car might move around a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, tried to squeeze that Ferrari up the inside. So Notorious getting his elbows out. Yeah, Notorious getting his elbows out there, possibly caught the Bigster a little bit unaware. And I'm going to have to quickly rejoin the session as I've been disconnected. So if Tom can continue with the radio broadcast as we get back to the session.
In the mud out of turn 1, as you can imagine, Bugster's tucked his McLaren in behind. Notorious is run out of horsepower as they go through turn 2 now. The Bugster will be hoping that he can just try and stick with the Ferrari, and as you can see, Notorious, well, he can't at the moment. Notorious is running in lean mix, so he might give the Bugster a bit of a chance to catch up. As they go around turn 4, Meg Lugby still has a second advantage over Notorious, who has 6/10 over the Bugster. Way out in 4th now is Tom, so the wooden spoon for 4th looks like it could be going his way. As the gap still stays the same. Getting a little bit too greedy on the apex was Notorious there. It didn't cost him too much, because you can see Meg Lugby, he's only 7/10 ahead, and you can see him, you can smell his fumes coming out of that car. He'll be telling Meg, that wind on your neck is me, I'm coming for you.
Just riding on board with Shea as he continues the battle for 4th between himself and Tom. Shea still stuck behind the Renault of Tom despite being on the quicker tyre compound, and this is going to compromise his race strategy as Notorious continues to close down Meg Lugby. The gap 2/10 of a second. Meg Lugby tries to go defensive, won that run down towards turn 14. There's a little bit of a gap. Notorious sees it, tries to emulate the move that he tried on the books at turn 14, but Meg Lugby just gave enough room and allowed the pace of the Haas to go round the outside line, keeping ahead of the Tories. But could we see the Tories going round the outside at turn 1?
Meg Lugby literally on the right on the verge of over defending here. Does well, both drivers. Full credit to both of them for keeping it tidy there.
Yeah, and it goes back to that little love tap you were referring to earlier on, Tom, between these drivers. So giving enough space, almost the minimum amount of space required. So very tough racing between McLugby and the Taurus, two very experienced drivers.
I think the Fumsaurus is going to get the move done as he runs wide there. I think it's going to be down at the run at turn 1. Meg's going to take the inside line, and I think he needs to just brake earlier than him and catch him undercut. Do you know what I mean? Just come underneath him. I think that's what we're going to be looking at. I think Meg's going to stick to that inside line. He's going to be like a Skeletrix car on the inside. He's not going to move anywhere. You need to outbrake him into that corner if you're going to get in position.
Oh, mistake from the Taurus. Lit up the rear tyres and lost the rear of the Ferrari, allowing the Bugster to move up into second place with not too much of an effort. But I was just going to say, I was just going to say before that happened, Tom, it looked as if the Bugster was actually beginning to back off slightly, allowing McLugby and the Taurus to battle it out. So again, showing his race knowledge and race craft, just sitting in wait, and it certainly came good for the Bugster, moving up to second place without really too much effort.
As Fasconi goes off as Tom. Is it Tom who's going to benefit? Yeah, Tom benefits, going in at 4th. Shayo's pitted, so this is interesting now. Shayo went the same way as Meg Lugby. He went super soft to soft. So you'd have to wonder, you'd have to imagine that Meg Lugby could be struggling and that the Buckster could come back at him. Yeah,
certainly Haas will be looking at telemetry from Shayo and Meg Lugby, looking to see what strategy choice they make. Down at Haas with 7 laps remaining. So McLugby leading the Bugster by 2.2 seconds, with Notorious after that mistake dropping to 3rd with 8 tenths behind. So Notorious certainly now not out of this race win fight, but just referring to the championship battle, Wavintail currently in 6th on the medium tyre, looking to possibly go at the end of the race with Nick Thompson on the super soft tyre down in 8th.
Unfortunately, I think Nick might have made a bit of an error there, going for the wrong tyre, but we'll see how the rest develops. The medium, I doubt the medium tyres, the medium racers will have to pit again, so there's always the opportunity it happens, but I don't think it'll happen during the race. As we run down 1, 2, 3, Notorious is going to have to try and catch the Bugster unawares, because the Bugster is quite an intelligent racer. And he won't give up that position. The Bugster, he'll hold on to that inside racing line. No, he's gone wide. Is he going to let Notorious through?
Yeah, the yellow flags currently in sector 1 as Notorious tries to go up the inside of the McLaren of the Bugster, and the Bugster just closes the door. So allows a little feint of hope on the inside and just comes across, closing that door to the Bugster, just saying you're not having second place at the moment. Fast going currently, but still behind Tom, with Wavintail looking to turn the screw on the Force India of Fast going. With Mike down in 7th, Nick Thompson in 8th, Shayo in 9th, Saab in the last championship point with MJ Coop 20 seconds behind Saab. So it looks as if it's been another tough night for MJ Coop.
Yeah, absolutely. MJ Cooper hasn't really had much luck in the Performance League as of late, so unfortunately for him, he'll be happy to see the end of this game as well, I imagine, and get himself ready for next season.
Yeah, he's certainly been very impressive in F3. A tough start to the F3 League, but certainly coming good as we approach the business end of the season. So definitely a driver to watch out for next season, Tom.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's come on leaps and bounds. He was at the start of the season. He was a little bit suspect. Himself and Spud, we had a bit of wing goes off the McLaren there. I wonder if there was a little touch to the Haas. It was they're very, very close to each other. Sorry to change conversation there, Craig, as they've got the front three, 8 tenths between them. McLaughlin defended from Bugster. Bugster defended from Notorious. Notorious goes up the inside and he thinks better of it and he runs wide. He thinks, I'm going to keep hold of my wing. As we got 5 laps to go. But on MJP, like you said there, Craig, yeah, he had a slow start. He'd make a few mistakes, and it was when he took his first win at Silverstone, that's when he really got settled and started putting in the performances which have made him a solid racer at F3.
Well, as well as the three-way battle for the race lead at the moment, Tom, we have a three-way battle for 4th place between Tom, Fascoen and Wave Intel, who is now caught up to the back of the Force India, as Fascoen has really struggled to get that move done on the Renault of Tom.
Yeah, it looks like Tom and Fascoen have had a second half of the race where they've just been squabbling, and it's allowed the McLaren of Wave Intel to get in close. Meg Lugby, the red arrows are pointing down. I wonder if he's lost position and then he's gained it back again. No.
He's currently still leading the race by 0.6 of a second, but he will have to make another pit stop. The question is, Notorious has had an issue as he's actually going across the grass, possibly caught out from following that McLaren closely through sector 2. So Notorious is still in 3rd, but he's lost a lot of time to Tom, who can now see that Ferrari slightly ahead.
Yeah, Tom will be hoping that Notorious doesn't get too far ahead and he can pull him in, because he's got his own train to worry about at the moment. As Fascoen looks like he could be going up the inside. He's going to send him wide. Fascoen, is he going to try and come back underneath Tom?
He looks to do the cutback at turn 1, but Tom too far ahead and didn't need to do much defending against that. So Fascoen really trying to drive the wheels off that Force India. Has a little look up the inside at turn 4, slight lock up from Tom as we exit turn 4, as the battle for P1 continues between Meg Lugby on the soft tyre while the Bugster and McLaren is on the medium. The gap 0.9 of a second. So
yeah, I'm very surprised that Meg on the soft tyre has managed to keep it together as much as he has. I think Notorious and the Bugster, they've obviously cost themselves this race a little bit because they've been squabbling. But you'd be doing the same if you're in their position, trying to take the race win.
Yeah, it looks as if Wave Intel looking again at the long game, just leaving a little bit of a gap between himself and Fascoen, opening up the gap to 0.8 of a second. So still picking up some of the dirtier, but he remains within DRS activation. 2 positions separate himself and Nick Thompson. The gap currently sitting at 5.3 seconds.
It's turned into a fascinating battle, especially the front top 6. I'm not too sure now. Nick down in 8th. I think he's been a valiant championship effort. Even if Wave wasn't to finish now, he probably won't get enough points to overturn him. So he'd probably be thinking, he'll be in that cockpit thinking, I should have done this, should have done that. And unfortunately, it's at this stage of the season now where he can't really change much apart from look forward to the next game, which is out in a few weeks. And obviously, you got next season at Invictus to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. The time for reflecting is certainly in the post-season, and he's just going to have to get focused on the job at hand. With 3 laps remaining, anything can still happen. Any mistake from Wave Intel can put him out of it. But Nick Thompson just not scoring enough points to secure that championship if Wave Intel did retire. But Fascoen eventually gets the move done on Tom on that between turn 1 and turn 2. So Force India coming good eventually, moving Fascoen up to P4.
Yeah, Max has gone off there, Craig. He's eased some of the pressure on Wave Intel somewhat, and it's allowed Nick to close the gap on him.
Yeah, I think the Bugster just holding position at the moment. He's holding that 1 second gap between himself and Meg Lugby, knowing that Meg Lugby is unlikely to take these softs to the end. But with 3 laps remaining in the race, Tom, do you just stick it out? Do you just try and ride your luck, hoping to get these soft tyres to the end of the race? or do you go for the more conservative approach and just going for the super softs at the end, hoping that the drivers may struggle in the mediums with the final 2 laps?
Well, there's not much point pitting now. Personally, if I was on the softs now, you'd be looking to eke it out and hope that that was the question, wasn't it? You wouldn't pit now, would you? I mean, I think Meg Lugby is obviously going to try and just coast home and hope that I'd be looking at it now. If I was Meg, I'd be noticing the 2 cars behind me. They're quite in close proximity. I wouldn't overdo it with the fuel. I'd just try and keep it clean. And no matter what, he's got a podium anyway at the moment. It's just keeping your eyes on the track in front, and if the 2 behind you squabble, get the foot down and benefit from it. That's what I'd be doing. I'd look back on occasions just to see how close they are to each other, but apart from that, eyes forward and keep focused, because it's a hard enough task as it is when your tyres are worn and they're in the 60s, 70s, 80s%. One advantage that he does have, obviously, is that it's a Honda engine behind him and he's in the Ferrari, so he's going to beat it for speed on the straights anyway. So then again, Bigster's back in DRS, so let's see what happens. The yellow flag's been set to free Craig, if you can see to that.
Yeah, just actually right on board with the Bigster, 7/10 of a second behind Meg Lugby as we begin the penultimate lap of the season of the Performance League. So to actually say that and just reflect that we have had 12 amazing races and it comes down to these final 2 laps. So, I'm just really wondering what emotions Wave Intel is going through at the moment. He's in 6th place, 2 laps away from securing his first Drivers' Championship. And the Bigster beginning to close down the gap to Meg Lugby. It looks as if Meg Lugby's soft tyres are eventually giving in. So can Meg Lugby get to the end of the race on these softs, or will his tyres hit the cliff and result in a puncture? We're just going to have to wait and see. So he is going for that dangerous one-stop strategy as the Bigster starting to rein in the Haas of Meg Lugby, with the Bigster just tucking in behind that McLaren as well.
He could pull it off, Craig, and I tell you what, it's going to be a grandstand finale, especially in the first corner of the last lap, because they're within a second of each other. Notorious in the faster Ferrari, he's saved fuel, he's got plenty of power in the back of that Ferrari. He'd be looking to try and clear the Bugster, but the Bugster will be trying to stick to the back of Meg Lugby, and they'd be saying, no, you're not coming through here.
Absolutely.
As Meg goes defensive, goes one way and then the other.
Yeah, just trying to defend and then come back onto the racing line. But Notorious right on the back of the McLaren. I don't recall these drivers having any time penalties either. So who is going to go for the late braking competition to turn 1? Meg Lugby goes across the defend Bigster, tries to go up the inside line. Slight contact between the McLaren and the Haas. But Bigster moves up to P1. There's contact again at turn 2 between the Haas and the Bigster. Both drivers fighting it out, getting the elbows out on the run down towards turn 3 and 4. Notorious trying to stay out of contact with the drivers ahead. Oh, it's a 3-way battle in turn 4. There's slight contact between the Haas and the Ferraris as Notorious makes contact with the rear of Meg Lugby. As you said, Tom, it is a grandstand finish as Notorious picks up that 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, very, very intelligent racing once again from the Bugster. As you saw him down at the turn 1, he was behind Meg Lugby and he was waiting for Notorious to flick, and as soon as Notorious flicked out, he thought, right, I'm going for it then. He cut Notorious off, he saved his own skin, and he took the position off Meg Lugby, and he looks like being our winner of the final race of the season. Very fitting. He's already missed 2 races due to being on holiday.
Yeah, and I think the Bigster could be reflecting on what if as well. But family holidays do take priority over league racing, and I think the Bigster will be reflecting in the post-season what if. But Notorious not giving up in a second position against McLugby, trying to go round the outside. McLugby goes deep at turn 15. Notorious comes across a slight contact between the Ferrari and the Haas as the Bookster and the McLaren celebrates the race win. The Bookster takes second, but after time penalties moves McLugby up to second. Fascoen crosses the line in fourth. Tom takes fifth but drops to sixth after time penalties. Mike will cross the line in seventh. Nick Thompson, after a hard fought race, did everything he could, takes eighth. Saab should take ninth, with Shiu crossing the line, taking that final championship point. Saab celebrates a hard fought season for ninth place. Shiu comes round turn 15, will take the final championship point, while MJ Coop finishes the race in 11th. So as we try and get the top three drivers into the commentary box for the post-race interviews, so we will look to invite the race winner, the Bookster, second place driver McLugby, and third place driver Notorious. So Tom, just reflecting on that race, the final race of season 5 at the Performance League, what's your thoughts on that race on your return to the...
Unbelievable. No, it was a good race. It was very entertaining from the qualifying to the first lap of the race to the off. I think it showcased the fantastic talent that are in the Performance League, regardless of what car you're in, what skill level you are. As long as you know how to race and can race wheel to wheel, you're always going to have a home here. And congratulations once again to the Bugstein. He'll be the man to watch leading into next season. But let's not forget our champion, never miss.
We've
young flying Scotsman.
We've
yes, wait a minute. Please forgive me. They weren't 2 minutes in F3.
Yeah, so I'll just send invites again to the top three drivers. I'm sure they want to take a breather after that climax to the end of the race. So hopefully we will be joined by the Bookster, our race winner, second place driver McLugby, and our third place driver Notorious. But maybe having a few private words after that little bit of wheel banging at turn 1 and 2. So we will wait to see if we get joined by the top three drivers.
Yeah, I don't think they can complain too much. I mean, you've obviously got a... You know, they were racing, wasn't it, at the end of the day? So they put on a good show. Last race of the season, I think all three of them did fantastically.
Yeah, so we have been joined by third place driver Notorious. We've now been joined by the Bookster, and hopefully we will be joined by second position driver McLugby. If I can just ask you guys to check your party settings, that you always allow your voice to be shared and that you remain in the lobby screen, and will allow you to catch your breath after those final few laps. So we did start with a wet qualifying session that allowed all drivers to start on a fresh strategy. We did see various strategies from each driver, and we turn attentions to race winner, the Bookster, driving for McLaren tonight. How does it feel to win the final race of the season? And with tonight's race win, is it a case of what always might have been if you hadn't missed the last 2 races?
Oof, hard question. Wait, what was the first question?
How does it feel to take the race win of the final race of the season? And
of course it's I do always so this wasn't anything different. But yeah, we lost the Constructors' Championship as SCD couldn't race, so that's unfortunate.
And just to reflect on the Drivers' Championship, with 3 races remaining, obviously because of a family holiday, etc. Is it a case of regret, or that you've given everything that you could this season?
Yeah, I have given everything I could. I was on holiday, so it was impossible to take the PS4 and my wheel with me in the plane, so I had no choice.
Okay, okay.
Not even your own private plane.
Yeah.
So, if we could turn attentions to second place McLugpy, quite a risky strategy from yourself tonight, going for the super soft strategy, I believe. Was it always your intention to go with that strategy when you saw the rain come down in quali, or was it more reactive to the drivers going on the medium tyre?
I don't know what I'm thinking at the minute. Yeah, once I saw the rain come down, I thought it could push it into that softer tyre. But the main thing that lost me that race is I got held for 5 seconds without getting a penalty in the pit stops, and I would have won by a country mile if that hadn't happened. So that's the game's fault. Otherwise, cracking battle, guys, Notorious and Boog, but well done. It was fun racing you. It got a bit close at times, but yeah, I'm just furious at myself and the game.
Yeah, I've got a question for you, Meg. Just a quick one. When you pitted, you had a 5-second advantage. What was the hold-up? Were you a bit too cautious getting into the pits?
No, well, I was a little bit cautious, aware, but not that much. Basically, the game acted as if I had a 5-second penalty, more or less. It was so slow,
Right.
so slow putting on my tyres when I didn't have one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 'cause that was something that I touched on when Notorious came up, because he obviously went the 1 lap longer than you. And it was like your 5-second advantage got totally wiped out. You were stuck behind Fast Corn. Fast Corn must have had a fantastic pit stop, and he obviously came out ahead of you. I mean, the race for me always opens up after the first set of pit stops. It's who's managed that part of the race best, and I'd have to say for me, you obviously led from the front. You did your own race, and rightfully so, because you had the gap. For me, it was Bugster, because Bugster, he was under so much pressure from Tom. Tom had an opportunity to go for the undercut, and obviously Bugster, I don't know if you noticed that he'd stuck with you and then his tyres started going off. Was that in your mind? Did that dictate your strategy? Because you had a perfect race for me.
yeah, so first thing, I obviously built a gap. Then I saw Boog was looking after his tyres a little bit better. He could close in by a second or so towards the end, and then he pitted a bit earlier. I was expecting some sort of undercut, and I wouldn't have minded coming out behind Boog, but the fact it came out behind 3 or 4 other cars and then had to re-overtake them because of the game, that's just...
No, a little nudge is always going to happen, as long as it's nothing reckless or stupid.
Just going to bring the stream to an end in regards to being kicked from the party or losing connection with the party. So just to wrap up tonight's stream, thanks for everyone that joined us as always and joined us to spectate the race and also comment on the race. Congratulations to the Boogster who takes tonight's race win, followed by McLugby and third place driver Notorious. Big congratulations to drivers champion of the Performance League, Wave Intel, and also to second place driver Nick Thompson. So I hope you join us next season for hopefully 2 Performance Leagues that will be coming to you live from Tuesday evenings at 8 PM. So I want to wish everybody a great post season and hope to see you again for F1 2018.